bracket looks like this. So far, we have had, count them, 5 teams eliminated. That means 5 now advancing into the round of 8. Those games set to be played tomorrow back here in Canton, Ohio. Hey, so glad you could join us. Rebecca Londo, Roy Philpott, and the action today has been fast. It's been furious. We've enjoyed it, and now another opportunity for one of these 2 teams to advance to tomorrow.
And I can imagine their day. It's been slow for them because they've been waiting to get on the field. And when that happens, your nerves start to kick in. It's going to be super interesting how solid they are when they come out.
Yeah, talking with the coaches, and that has been something they've had to deal with today, is to navigate the length of time. One team was here at noon today, so they've waited 4 hours. SF Elite represented the Bucs and out of Miami in Florida, and that's something that is not always easy to do with these young ladies.
Not at all, because you see the other games as well.
Right.
You spend so much time in the locker, at the field. You really need to be careful with your hydration, where your focus is. Make sure you're staying hydrated, but also not bored. It's such a struggle for each player. They each have like their own pre-game routine, let's say, and when it's that much time, it's really hard to keep it.
No question about it. Anticipation continues to build, and we are just about set and ready to go. NFL Flag Championships continuing in Canton. We've got Rosemount, Minnesota, Miami, Florida coming up after this.
It was amazing. Flag football has changed my life tremendously. If I didn't play flag today, I don't know who I'd be.
Now, Serenity Simon, ultra-talented, a state champion, one of 4 state champions on this roster for SF Elite, representing the Bucs out of Miami in Florida, and she is committed to play for Kaiser University at the next level. And a look at the roster, Serenity Simon, one to watch. A lot of athletes, that's by design, Rebecca, because these players can all play multiple positions. Ava Alvarez will get to start at quarterback today for head coach Kevin Mojica.
Yeah, and it's great to see that. When you see ATH, you mean they're a baller. Like, they know they can play any position on the field. You can see the charisma from this team right off the bat, specifically from Serenity Simon. You could tell her smile, talking about flag football. So many of these players bloom on the field.
Meanwhile, for the Vikings out of Rosemount, Minnesota, Olivia Danner will get the start at center. At quarterback, Talia Vesio. 48 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions in her regular season. Extremely accurate and has been awfully impressive to start here in Canton for this upstart program that is looking to challenge and perhaps slow this game down a little bit. Coach Jeff Erdman telling us pregame he anticipates 5 possessions for each side if his team is going to have its best opportunity to win this game.
Which is a great strategy. I love that thought, because sometimes we think about this is a very fast-paced sport, which it is, but you can slow it down with your own offensive drives. Make sure that the other team doesn't have the possession of the ball too long to get many points on the board. So I like what he's thinking.
Vikings will get the football first, and Vesio in at quarterback. Being from Minnesota, a lot of these players, of course, play multiple sports, Rebecca, including hockey, which constitutes a certain level of toughness with this team. They're not going to be intimidated by anyone.
No, and you can tell by, their demeanor. Doesn't matter if they've been playing for a long time. And did you see that? Knocking on the head, is that like a pregame ritual?
That's the good luck charm from Olivia Danner and Delaney Mackin. They'll tell you about it coming up in a few minutes. First play from scrimmage, Abby Essler around the right edge and dives forward for a small gain as the flag is pulled quickly for number 3 in purple.
I can tell you right now this is going to be a physical game. You can really realize it, especially coming from the Bucs and SF Elite, but also the creative side. When we talk about the Vikings, when you're new in this sport, you got to find ways to attack those very physical defenses, and they just did it in the last play.
Oh, just underway. Second down, midfield to go. 12-minute clock. It's a running clock. First and second half, both teams equipped with 3 timeouts. Sidearm delivery, and the pass will be grabbed by Taylor Krieg. It'll be third down midfield from there. About 11 yards to go to reach the line to gain.
So what does it mean to allow the other team to have 5 possessions. It means your drive has to be really slow. So you have to balance it out with like chunk plays, but then it's really slow play as well, making sure you're gaining those yards to keep your drive alive without moving too fast.
Interesting strategy involved, and it's kind of the game within the game.
Catches that flag.
Hessler said growing up her dream was to play tackle football. She runs track, plays soccer, speaks French, and does a little bit of everything, including scoring touchdowns here in Canton.
Like so many of us, we wanted to play tackle football. It wasn't an option, and then we found flag football, fell in love with it.
And that's one of the reasons the sport has exploded the way that it has in the last 10 years. Those dreams now being realized. That's a backwards pass. Krieg has it. And on the double completion, racing towards the 5 is Olivia Danner. Well, of course, as a starting center, you're an eligible receiver. It's not like what you would expect if you're just tuning into NFL Flag for the first time.
Exactly. And this is the thing. So they have 2 quarterbacks, 2 rushers are going in, and they're leaving that space in the middle of the field wide open for that very comfortable catch.
12-yard gain, 2nd and goal, so 2 downs to score a touchdown. The Vikings will turn it over on downs. And facing this Bucs team out of Miami, SF Elite. Well, good drive, and exactly what Jeff Erdman told us he wanted his team to do right out of the gates. And a great start, obviously, Rebecca, so important. Here comes a penalty marker, and the first time we'll hear from Emily Howard.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty includes a loss of down.
That is enormous.
3rd down.
Oh my God, they had done such a great job, and that's why details are so important in flag football. So they still had a chance to put that in the end zone with very comfortable field position. Now it's a little bit longer, and they lose that down. Still 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal from the 12. Emmy Murhai was bearing down quickly. 12-yard scoring strike, and now going for the 1-point conversion and a 6-0 advantage for the Vikings. Here's Vesio with time and batted away at the last moment. The PBU for Kamai Moore. Committed to play flag football at Baker University. The damage has been done. Taylor Krieg, little celebration after the fact. You love the post-TD selling. On wood for good luck, part of their pregame ritual for the Vikings, and so far so good. It is working beautifully. You're watching the NFL Flag Championships presented by Toyota, and don't forget, Gen Youth and the NFL Foundation have teamed up to bring NFL Flag in school to over 40,000 schools nationwide, energizing physical education and empowering 17 million students through movement, teamwork, and play. Flag football making its Olympic debut in 2028. The momentum is building. Learn more, genyouthnow.org. First possession for the Bucs and SF Elite. Pass falls incomplete. And playing quarterback Ava Alvarez banged up her elbow on that first attempt, and we'll take another look at how that transpired.
This is so common within rushers and quarterbacks, so you can see how it hits her head, and they both kind of, you know, your arm kind of feels like it's dead for a second, and then also so dangerous for the head, but they're both set to keep on going.
8 of 9 players on this Bucs roster slated to play flag in college. Twist of the hips, the completion, and it goes to Casey Hart for a nice gain. It's 3rd in midfield.
Yeah, and I think this is a great choice right after that big hit. It's a comfortable pass. Make sure you get some yards in there. Good tackle.
Casey calls flag football her escape. And for Ava Alvarez, committed to play at Baker University. She's been part of this organization for 4 years. Her last go around, and she wants to go out on top as a champion. Deep snap on 3rd in midfield. Dump off across the middle. Flag is pulled short of the line to gain. So the pass is caught by Ashley Alvarado. And it'll be 4th and midfield, needing just 3 yards to keep the drive alive, Rebecca.
Yeah, but they're staying on the field, and if they don't make the 1st and down, then that's exactly where the other team is going to get possession of the ball.
So our first enormous play. Bucs already trailing 3-0. Check that 6-0. And the pass incomplete off the fingertips of Ashley Alvarado.
Wow, this is a huge stop. That is a huge stop. So we're gonna see here, she has time. There's a crash within the rushers, and then she finds her. She says they were pulling her arm a little bit. What we said, the importance of that play is that you don't start in your 5-yard line. You're gonna start where the ball finished, let's say. So they're already first and down. First and goal, let's say, for the Vikings, right?
It'll be first and goal, starting out in Bucs territory.
Yeah.
Ava Casper was in coverage. And what an opportunity now for the Vikings. Rosemount, Minnesota. Here's time for Vesio. She slips and falls back behind midfield. It'll be second and goal from there, and a big play defensively for the Bucs. Canals came in for the sack.
Honestly, so important. They had super good field position, and this is huge because now they have to advance so many yards, almost 30 yards in 2 downs.
Not easy to do. Daniela Canals with the sack. That's a loss of 5. Second and goal.
Couple of important plays.
Vesio with time, crossing route available. Pass is hauled in by Essler, but a short gain, third and goal, and a long ways to get home.
Yeah, so now you're expecting the defense to go preventive defense. They're going to go back and back and back, making sure they can catch anything underneath them, but nothing behind them, just to avoid those points.
Vikings taking their time with a 6-0 advantage. Boy, that sack changed everything about the feeling of this first half and the early dominance by the Vikings here. Vesio has to go long and does. End zone and intercepted. Garcia comes out with it. And interesting, the interception, the possession will begin way back deep on their end of the field. If it was just a turnover on downs, a different story, right?
Yeah, so the good thing about intercepting here is that you're gaining yards for your team. There's a lot of teams that would have batted that down. For example, IFAF rules, sometimes you would rather bat that down, but it makes sense that she intercepted and trying to gain some yards.
Jocelyn Garcia, also a standout soccer player, wants to be a physical therapist. Comes up clutch when her team needed her the most. Emmy Murhigh tap dancing down the far side. A quality gain on first down. Second in midfield, needing only 4, maybe 5 yards to pick up the first.
And what I like to see right now is they're very close to midfield, so they can risk it and they can try to gain a lot of yards in this next play.
In at quarterback, Ava Alvarez. Elbow appears to be just fine. Here comes the rush. He'll get rid of it. And the pass nearly intercepted. The penalty marker down.
Roughing the passer on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Rule 1 in NFL flag, no contact allowed, and that got to be a physical play on the release of the ball.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the quarterback. Sometimes if you're fighting for the ball, let's say cornerback and a receiver, there could be a little bit of contact, but as in the NFL, the quarterback is really protected. If it's an incidental hit, kind of like what we saw at the beginning, the elbow to the head, there's no problem there. But if there's body-to-body contact with the quarterback, you're going to see this flag.
95 seconds remaining in the half. The clock has stopped. It'll be first and goal just across midfield. Dynamic start by the team from Rosemount, Minnesota, led by head coach Jeff Erdman. And now they push it back to third and mid. To say, you look good, you feel good, you play good. She checked all 3 boxes in that sequence.
She's my type of guy.
They'll go for the 1-point conversion attempt here. And a chance for their first lead of the game, and wisely allowing that clock to wind down so that Vikings don't get another chance in an ideal scenario. Back end zone open, but out of bounds. It was there for the Bucs. And Alvarado unable to reel it in. Ran out of real estate.
Too much air on that ball, we would say. but she knew she was going to be back there. It's just a little bit of an adjustment. Also, the Vikings should write that down and make sure they are careful for that play in the future.
What a first half. Both teams trading punches early, tied at 6. 12 minutes in. Team gets whittled down to 8 today. And the Vikings and Bucks representing Rosemount, Minnesota.
That was a great play, and we're going to see here the out route and then the balance she has to stay on the field. The only thing I wish is that she would have short lined, meaning she would stay behind midfield, make sure she has more advantage to gain yards after that.
After a gain of 22, back across the middle, wide open. The flag is pulled on first down and goal. It'll be second and goal just inside the 10-yard line. And the pitch and catch operating quickly was Ashley Alvarado.
They have great tempo. You can see how she rolls out to the left and then looks to the right. She's moving the whole defense onto that side and finding that space in the mound. We're going to see it here in the replay. But once again, she's rolling out to the left, looking through the right. I think it was Ava Kospar on the defensive side. Well, that went really fast, which is exactly what the Vikings wanted to avoid.
Serenity Simon, all smiles. What a career she has enjoyed. Set to play flag football at Kaiser University. Vikings will get it back. And across the middle for a short gain goes Taylor Krieg. So she grabbed a touchdown pass in the first half. And the Vikings trying to start another drive here to begin the second. Second in midfield to go.
And at least in this first play of the half for the SF Elite at defense, they were playing man. Great work, honestly, by Jocelyn Garcia. Really tight there on her coverage. It's okay if they catch the ball. The importance of not allowing yards after the catch, and exactly that's what she did.
How many coaches have we talked to this week that talk about yards after catch? Yak is critical. That means everything in NFL flag.
Yeah. And even in the NFL, we talk about that stat so much when we're talking about
offense. Half the distance to the goal. Loss of down.
Well, the loss of down really gets you with these infractions. It's so important to playing clean football. Jeff Urban talked about that with us and looking ahead towards keys to his team finding a way to win. And so you lose the down and you lose yards. Third and mid to go, and it's a long ways to get to the line to gain, Rebecca.
The way for me to understand that, it's like it's double punishment, right? They're taking two things from you, yards and a down. So now they really need to adjust. It makes sense that they're huddling up because they need to get really close to that midfield on this down. Especially where they were spotted, it would be so risky, to say the least, about that choice. So, like we say in flag football, and especially in this format, when it comes to fourth down, you decide to either punt or play. The obvious choice is to point. Even though there's not a kick, they're going to start at the 5.
Head coach Kevin Mohiki, he told us today it's about how we approach and limiting our mistakes too. And if we focus on ourselves, we're going to be just fine. Murhai, quality gain on first down, second in midfield with about 10 yards needed to keep the drive alive. And let's see where they officially spot it. Make it 12.
You can see the resiliency of this team because they started kind of with low energy, like the coach said, not really understanding what they were playing for. But after some of the situations, you can really tell they're comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Third and mid. And the Vikings defense stepping up here. The coverage has been ample. Stepping in Abby Thiel-Moiser. And the pass incomplete. Well, the play of the game coming up right now. A chance for Rosemount, Minnesota to get the football back with a stop.
It's interesting because they're going to play box as a defense. That's going to leave the center wide open.
Alvarez across the middle and trying to give herself up just before midfield.
Yeah, so this is a thing. She thought she was short lining, but she lost awareness of the down they were playing. She really needed to cross then, because now it's fourth down and you're risking not crossing that half midfield.
In your mind, the call is to go for it here.
You have to.
Time winding down, needing 12 yards. The gain was 11. And Alvarez back on the field, needing just a half yard to keep this drive.
And it's worked every time. Really, this is all tackling. That's what we have to say. You really have to open your stance, open your arms, occupy as much space as you can. Make sure that you're making her stop for a second, and then the rest of your team is gonna come and help. Those yards after the catch, again, key in this play.
It'll be 1st and goal.
15 yards after the catch.
SF Elite in position. Vikings need a stop here. Trailing by 7, more than halfway home in our second half. And now a chance to talk about it.
And it's interesting, right? Because in the first half, Rosemount Irish from the Vikings did a really good job at limiting the offensive plays and the offensive drives that SF Elite had. But now
this roster for SF Elite, representing the Bucs out of Miami in Florida, and she is committed to play for Kaiser University at the next level. And a look at the roster, Serenity Simon, one to watch. A lot of athletes, that's by design, Rebecca, because these players can all play multiple positions. Ava Alvarez will get to start at quarterback today for head coach Kevin Mojica.
Yeah, and it's great to see that. When you see ATH, you mean they're a baller. Like, they know they can play any position on the field. You can see the charisma from this team right off the bat, specifically from Serenity Simon. You could tell her smile, talking about flag football. So many of these players bloom on the field.
Meanwhile, for the Vikings out of Rosemount, Minnesota, Olivia Danner will get the start at center. At quarterback, Talia Vesio. 48 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions in her regular season. Extremely accurate and has been awfully impressive to start here in Canton for this upstart program that is looking to challenge and perhaps slow this game down a little bit. Coach Jeff Erdman telling us pregame he anticipates 5 possessions for each side if his team is going to have its best opportunity to win this game.
Which is a great strategy. I love that thought, because sometimes we think about this is a very fast-paced sport, which it is, but you can slow it down with your own offensive drive.
Started today at Ancestry.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo. You can change your color here. And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
Domino's Best Deal Ever is back because we know you love to get the most out of your pizza by getting the most on your pizza. Get any hand-tossed pan, thin crust, or New York-style pizza with any toppings for just $9.99 online. Get extra without paying extra for $9.99 at Domino's.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Back in Canton, Ohio, and a barn burner here. 4:53 remaining. The lead at 7 for SF Elite out of Miami, Rosemount, Minnesota. We talked about the Bucs and their ability to get players to the next level in flag. 8 of 9 will be participating in flag football in college. And Emmy Murhai, as we mentioned earlier, set to play volleyball at Troy in the heart of the Sun Belt Conference. Very impressive.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Look at the quality of players they have, that they get scholarships. First of all, getting a scholarship playing the sport that you love, you got to be lucky. But second of all, of course you work hard for that. I'm glad they get the opportunity.
Enormous play. 1st and goal. Vikings need a stop here. Alvarez has it out of a bunch formation. There's a penalty marker, and the touchdown is caught in the back corner.
There's a flag on the field, though.
King caught the touchdown. Or it was Murhide that called the touchdown, excuse me. Here comes the infraction.
During the play, illegal blocking, offense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, includes a loss of down. Be second down. Timeout.
6 points off the board. And the loss of down. That's the biggest play of this game so far, and the Vikings still with life here.
Yes, and this is the problem. So you can see right there, number 8, how she's coming in, Ashley Alvarado, with her arms up there, trying to kind of like block. I know there's a lot of traffic, but you need to avoid those contacts. As an offense, you need to make sure that you're stepping out of the way, especially from that lane that the rusher has directly to the quarterback.
2nd and goal, and this possession going in the wrong direction, at least for that one play.
In the toughest spot for me as a cornerback when you're covering the end zone.
Kevin Mujica always coaching, talking to his star receiver, set to play volleyball at Troy, originally from Boca Raton, and Odell Beckham Jr., her favorite player. There's a little bit of OBJ there in terms of the hands, the stick-to-itiveness in the grab.
And something that I heard from baby Gronk, Emmy Murhide, is she wants to be a sports broadcaster. We might see her,
she told us she wants your job.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Vikings get it back. Their 3 possessions today, a touchdown, a turnover, and another one that ended on downs. 2nd and midfield after the quick reception. Olivia Danner.
Now the challenge for the Vikings is they need to score fast, stop fast, and then get another opportunity.
Alessio with a deep handoff. Throw back across the grain and incomplete. Taylor Krieg into traffic that time. It'll be 3rd and mid.
And Delaney Macon has kind of to transition into a defensive position even though she's playing as wide receiver, because that pass was a little bit underthrown. She needs to get back in there and provoke the incomplete pass, avoid the interception.
3rd down. Vikings need to get across midfield. Deep pass incomplete. 2 receivers open for a moment. Delaney Macon was one, and Taylor Krieg the other. It'll be 4th and mid, and at this point trailing by 14. What do you do?
Yeah, you got to go for it, honestly. The thing is that this play is the game. If you don't get this play, then basically they just have to run down the clock, and that's why it's so important. I would have taken a timeout, honestly. Make sure everybody's ready, everybody's in sync. It's worth it because this is the most important play so far for the Vikings.
Jeff Erdman, the head coach, back to the drawing board, this upstart program. Now SF Elite out of Miami, in control with possession and just 2 minutes and change remaining.
So even though what we're seeing on screen happens to be that the Vikings have no timeouts anymore, that's why they didn't ask for one. They had to rush into that play.
And now SF Elite in no hurry whatsoever. Just trying to milk this clock out, and as you mentioned, that last play essentially the ball game.
Yep. Now we're going to see basically running plays. They're going to make sure the ball is really safe, and they're going to try to hear that count from the official. Gets to 4, gets to 2. That's when you snap the ball. Last 3 possessions, all touchdowns. Let's see if they're going to look for a 4th.
Alvarez, pressure coming. And the flag pulled away at the last minute as the reception's made by Francesca Lara. Her first grab, also a standout wrestler in the great state of Minnesota. Approaching 1 minute to go, 2nd and goal.
And you can see how aggressive they're still going to be, even though the game is theirs. They're still risking it. They're still going to find touchdowns and points on the board. Whatever you see on that scoreboard, it matters when you're...
And a big-time performance after the early deficit, and perhaps that was the moment that recharged this team to get them back in gear for another deep run.
And it talks a lot about the experience that they have, because sometimes when you don't have that experience, you do not know how to respond to the adversity. They were like, okay, we got to put it together, and they did.
Plenty of standouts to choose from, to talk with. We have chosen Serenity Simon. And Serenity, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't look like you guys are having any fun whatsoever down there.
What? You don't think we're having fun?
What was this experience like today? You guys trailed early, and it seemed like everything fell in line perfectly.
Honestly, it's a great experience. We came here before, and in the same exact situation, we didn't end up coming out on top. But to be able to have fun with these girls with our last one and win like we did, it's a great feeling. I can't imagine.
How important is that for you, and how much do you guys talk about this being your last run together before going to college?
We try not to talk about it too much, but it ends up coming up anyways because, you know, it's a sad, but it's a bittersweet moment because it tastes good, but it also don't really at the same time because, like I said, it is our last one. But just try to keep all the vibes as high as we can, and winning like this, and just after every play, celebrating every single moment, because these are moments we're never going to forget.
Only one more question for you, Serenity. Do you guys have one more dance